morning, what's poppin'? Good afternoon if you are on the West Coast. Good evening if you are on the East Coast, y'all. Happy Monday. It is a new week. I hope that everybody's having a good start to their week. If you have the Monday blues, I'm sorry. I hope it improves. I do. But welcome to the channel. I'm Mrs. Best. We are here to go over 90 Day Fiancé. It's our weekly review, season 12, episode 6. It was titled When Two Worlds Collide. Hot Mess Express that this was. Also, you guys, I hope that you do consider liking the video on your way in or out. Consider subscribing to the channel. I do cover all of 90 Day Fiancé. I just don't cover 90 Day Diaries. There's another one I'm forgetting about that I don't cover, but tap in, beautiful people. Let me also greet those who are in the chat. I see Shani is here. Shout out to my twin. Shout out to all of our Gemini friends also. It is still our season. Happy birthday to you. Cancers are next. Shani said, I'm the first here and still watching the episode. Okay, I feel you. I love that. I appreciate the support, Shani. Shani consistently supports me and James. Y'all, I'm just going to take a moment to shout her out. She supports us in more ways than one. We appreciate her and enjoy when she comes in these lives. Also, you guys, I will be live with James after this live for Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Tap in with the links in the description of this video. There are links to lots of great creators, including Watch Your Mouth Reviews and Shayna and a bunch of others. Not really, Shani. You be on time more often and you can't really be late. You can't really be late. If it's not a job and you're not being paid, you can't really be late. But we're going to start this episode. Oh, those are my notes for the shy. I should probably open my notes for 90 Day Fiancé. We're going to start with Katie's nasty ass and Josh. Yes, I meant to say that. Katie just irks me. And every time I try to find ways and reasons to like Katie, it goes away. It goes away. Hey, Vibe. Happy Monday to you. Tap in with Vibe's channel as well, you guys. Welcome in. Mido is an asshole. He is. He is. He is. I can't stand him. The way I'm about to read Mido for Phil, I'm always late watching these episodes. Honestly, it's really hard to get through these episodes. I just watched the episode before coming on this live. And it's not that I didn't try, but it's like 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. They do these 2-hour-long episodes. Listen, I'm not the busiest person, but I'm busy enough that I don't always have time to sit for 2 hours and look at an episode. Ay. So don't even worry about being late, Shani. That mattress had bed bugs. Is that what that was on the mattress? Oh, God. Wouldn't surprise me. The mattress is just sitting in storage. So whatever else is in anyone else's storage could come to hers. So, ugh. Cannot. I cannot. Josh tries to make breakfast for Katie. He's trying to be nice. He's trying to be kind. He's trying to be normal. And Katie just did not seem to care much. She just did not seem to care. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, he makes her breakfast. And she starts complaining about how many eggs are being used and the fact that eggs that say that they're cage free or something are not actually cage free and farm fed. Girl, I ain't got time for all of that. When I'm buying eggs, okay? And when I'm in Safeway, okay, that's all I got around my neighborhood. For whatever reason, we got Safeways and hella Food Maxes in the Bay Area, okay? But when I am in Safeway and I'm looking for eggs, I'm looking for the cheapest egg at this point. I can't even shop the way I used to want to. I'm looking for whatever's cheap. Hell, it's an egg. It's a damn egg. Lord. But she is upset at this beautiful breakfast that he made for her. And it really was beautiful. He added some spinach leaves and there was some sort of what looked like multigrain toast. They was eating a healthy breakfast. See, when breakfast comes for me, I want to eat greasy things. I like shrimp and grits. I will eat rice and gravy for breakfast. I am weird. I'm not really into breakfast food. But Katie gets what she gets with the breakfast. They sit down on the floor on what looked to be like a yoga mat of some sort. And I was like, I understand y'all don't have furniture and I guess I wouldn't want to eat on that mattress either. That mattress has been through enough. So I was just looking at their apartment. Like, I know she got the apartment last minute, but y'all definitely gonna need furniture. And Josh says what I was thinking. He starts suggesting an ironing board so he can iron his clothes. He's like, we need some tables and chairs. And this bitch told him he's stupid. How do you tell somebody, Katie, that they are stupid for wanting to furnish their home? Riddle me that. That's what I don't understand. When did we become stupid for having the basic expectation of furniture? She could have went and bought a beanbag. Y'all could have got a futon. There are cheaper ways to furnish a house. But she just made it seem like she was okay with being in an entirely unfurnished house, called this man stupid, and he's telling her the importance of this for him. She's totally ignoring it. She's like, what, is furniture a big deal in the UK? Bitch, furniture is a big deal everywhere. We are blessed to be able to have it. And I'm what are we doing? But then again, Katie had her mattress sitting in storage on the dirty concrete of storage, not even wrapped up in a mattress cover. So I'm not surprised that this girl is confused at the idea of furniture. My God. I like, even if it's an air mattress, Katie, I'd rather y'all sleep on that than that bed. Because Shani is right. That shit did look like it might have been bed bugs. It did look like it. But Katie and Josh, they argue pretty much from breakfast in her little Prius all the way over to the furniture store. Because Josh put his foot down. He said, I'm getting something to sit on. My back hurt. Felt totally valid, Josh. Totally valid. I would feel the same way. I wouldn't want my back to hurt. They're in the furniture store arguing. Katie really wants to get free furniture from her friends. She lets us know she does not trust this man with money, which I think is crazy, considering she should have had an apartment. You failed him with housing and you're kissing random men every week and you're worried about trusting him with money. And then we learned that Josh is okay. He said that Katie has a huge, substantial amount in her savings. And he says that he has shares in his company that he has cashed out so he could have a couple $1,000s while he's out here. So it looks like they're both financially okay and can afford the furniture. She's just not wanting to buy it. And I don't expect for Josh to buy it. Maybe he could put something in on it, but I wouldn't expect him to just solely buy the furniture, because what if they don't work out after the 90 days and he goes back to the UK? He might go back to Cambridge. So I don't know how they're going to overcome this, but I did feel like Katie was being unreasonable. Like, you don't have to furnish the whole house, but definitely at least get a couch or a table to eat at. Like, at least get some basic things, like something. Go to a thrift store. Do something, Katie. But they just ended up arguing more and more and more about furniture, to points where he mentions that he has been trying to immigrate. He's in the process of trying to immigrate to a new country, a new society. And, you know, he just wants to be comfortable. And Katie responds to him and says, well, it was your idea to come over here. I'm like, it was his idea. Now you didn't want him to come here? You weren't ready for him to immigrate to you? So if you weren't ready, then why would you even play into this? You should have told this man you're not ready, instead of playing this game week after week and blaming your activities on OCD. Like, what are we doing, Katie? Katie just irritated me. I don't understand why Josh wants to be with her. I don't understand what they're doing, y'all. But let's see what the comments in the chat are saying before we move forward. Shani said it looked like bed bugs, tits, mites. Ugh. Could have been. I am glad you are doing well, Vibe. That is good to hear. What's poppin', Courtney? Happy Monday to you. I hope your week goes easy. How is it weird to eat eggs in the morning? Shani, she got this man thinking that Americans like don't eat breakfast. That like Americans love cereal and we love a scrambled egg with some bacon. So I'm not understanding why he was doing that to her. Not understanding it. When I look for eggs, I need large, unbroken white eggs. Yeah, that's about it. I just want them to be cheap and not broken. Okay, the bar is low for an egg. Katie wants to eat cold pizza for breakfast. I feel like she probably just puts her cold pizza in the microwave too with no plate. She gives me a no plate type of bitch. Because she want to go out in the streets in dirty, wrinkled clothes. He doesn't want to sit on the floor. That is valid. I'm like 90 Day Fiance this season. The casting's always questionable, but this season is extra questionable. Between this Miss Katie being okay with just having no furniture and sitting and living her life on the floor, and Thomas over there with the tiny table, they are stressing me out. Why are they against furniture? I'll for the life of me, I cannot understand it. The talk got air mattresses for cheap. Hell, she could go to Walmart to get an air mattress. Katie used the some dude on top of her and back on the floor. That's why she don't mind sleeping there. You might be right. You might be right, Shaddy. You just read her for filth, but you might be right. That man needs to run back to the UK. I don't get it. I'm like, does he want to be in America? Sounds like his family's well off and he was okay there. Like, go home. Go home, Joshy. Go home. Vibe said Josh and Katie need a calculator, a budget, a spreadsheet, and maybe a therapist. Love is cute, but bills don't care about your feelings. That's the truth. That is the truth. They're not prepared at all, which is unlike most people with OCD. Like, a person with OCD would be more likely to over prepare for moving than under prepare. I know that it can go both ways, but Katie she just baffles me. Heck no, she was not ready for him to come over. She had nowhere to live before he got there. That's true. And I'm like, is her nomadic lifestyle working out so well that she can really just like not have an apartment and go live overseas? Because I would still want something to come home to and would just sublet my apartment to like college students or something. Like, that's just me. They do that a lot here in the Bay Area because it's so expensive. I mean, I'm in a 1-bedroom and I'm paying $2,900. My God, send help. But a lot of people end up subletting their apartments if they want to travel or go do stuff. A lot of them do sublet apartments to, like, especially where I live, to like the UC Berkeley students and all of that. And people do it. It's a great way to get your rent paid. But we're going to wish Katie and Josh the best. But I thought Katie was tripping this episode. I did not like how she talked to Josh. Let me know how you guys feel, and shout out to the replay gang, those who are watching when we're no longer live. I appreciate y'all as well. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted bagel with butter in New York City. This is all one word. New York has the best bagels, but I believe that's where bagels were like originated from. Fun fact for those who didn't know. Mallory and Rossi, aka she calls him Raj. He's at this redneck Welcome to America party, and he's talking to Brandon. I honestly am going to say Brandon is a redneck. He is. But I think he was willing to give Raj a change. Like, the way he responded to Raj was not what I expected. He was complaining about this man sitting on his tailgate. And I was like, really? That's what you're doing? But he was still willing to talk to Raj. Raj tells Brandon that he doesn't want him being friends with Mallory at all. He says in his culture, women and men are not to be friends. And Brandon was actually understanding, responding to Raj at first. He was like, I understand, it's your culture and stuff, but I promise you, we're not doing nothing. Like, Brandon was letting him know, like, we're not doing nothing. I respect your relationship. I would never come in between y'all. But he was also still, putting his foot down. Like, you can't expect me to just close the door on a friendship. If you really care about someone, you're not just going to stop talking to them because their boyfriend for the month has asked you to do that. So I'm not mad at Brandon for his response at all. And I felt like he was being fair. But Raj took it to hell. And Raj looked at him after Brandon responded and said, okay, so you don't call or text Mallory no more. And Brandon got fed up and he said, you're going to talk to me like that on my tailgate? I said, not you going to talk to me like that on the truck. Raj got off the truck, slammed the door shut, and explained one more time, do not text my woman. And the friend, Brandon, looked and said, I'm still going to text and call her, so you do with that what you will. And I honestly feel like Brandon handled that appropriately. He could have done more. He could have went bad. And even though I don't agree and thought it was childish of him to be mad at Raj for sitting on his tailgate without permission, if that's how they do things in the South, then maybe that is how they do things in the South. I'm not from there. I don't know the importance of a tailgate, okay? I live in Oakland. We lost the Raiders. We lost the A's. We lost the Warriors. We don't have no reason to tailgate here no more. Okay. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, regardless, obviously Brandon cares about Mallory. He tried. And that's really all we can say. You tried. Rosh. Now, I do still think Mallory is wrong to put Rosh in a situation where he's living in a city where people are a little more prejudiced, a little more judgmental for reasons that make no sense. However, Rosh is going to have a very hard time if that's what he does. And I do think if you're coming to this country, just like if I go to Dubai, I would put on a head wrap. I would absolutely put on a hijab to be respectful to the culture of that country. It's the same thing. Like, you're coming over here, have your culture, but still, Rosh, you got to slowly adjust to the American culture. And I know he ain't been there more than a few days. And so I'm hoping he'll adjust. But at the same time, I also respect him for putting his foot down about his woman. Okay, I'm not mad. Lord. Shetty said Brandon was not wrong. Yeah, I didn't think so either. I thought he was going to like be an asshole, and he was actually pretty nice and understanding until Rosh took it there. I wasn't mad at Brandon. Shanny said that's not fair for him to ask him not to call her no more and don't be her friend. Right, especially when you haven't even had that full talk with Mallory. Because y'all remember, Mallory was like, let's go to bed. Let's just go to bed. She never got to talk to him about it. So I'm like, that's going to be tough, I think, for a lot of the people on here. Like, American women will submit, but it's a different form of submit. You might want to talk to me before you go telling my friends not to talk to me. That's crazy, but Right. He said my tailgate. When Rosh closed the trunk and he said, oh, that's what we're doing. He was bothered. His teeth was itching over that tailgate. But I'm not mad at Brandon. I think more people need friends like that. And he was still respectful and walked away. So it is what it is. But Rosh wanted to do it. We are going to move forward, beautiful people, into Debbie and Mido, the stars of the episode, aka the Hot Mess Express. Debbie and Mido got on my last nerves, but honestly, okay, I like Debbie. She seems like a nice lady. I don't want to disrespect my elder. However, I feel like Debbie should have been able to see some of the signs that Mido was only interested in coming to America and being with her so that he could get the shot at being this big Hollywood star. I mean, why would a famous actor in Egypt be working in Giza, giving tours to people there to see the pyramids? Like, if you're a famous star, I don't care what country you're in, I don't expect to see you doing that. Like, Shani is correct. Mido does not like Debbie. I don't think he liked this lady. They're not even that far apart in age, but I think separate from like attraction, I don't think he likes her. Like, I don't think they have nothing to talk about. It's real easy to come up with shit to talk about when you're like on social media or even like in this format in a live or something versus when you're in person, either the energy and the vibe is there or it's not. But Debbie is writing out chores because she has moved to a bigger apartment so that her daughter, and Mido can all be more comfortable. And Mido said he not doing the dishes. He not taking out the trash. He's not interested in doing no tours. Mido, are you a diva, little prima donna, sir? You can't wash the dishes? Who washed your dishes in Egypt? Like, I'm not understanding it. But we get to see Mido do what he claims he is so good at, which is act. And I was actually not impressed when he was acting. He didn't do bad, but I wasn't impressed. He does this acting class, gets a acting coach. And the acting coach, I don't think the acting coach liked Mido very much. I was cracking up. He came into the class and the acting coach reminded everybody that a lot of people want to be an actor, but your chances of becoming a big star in Hollywood are slim, which is the truth. The group doesn't exercise in this group. And when it gets time for Mido to go, he's like, I want to do something different, And the guy was like, this is my class. You don't get to do that on the set. You do what the director tells you to do. Like, Mido has this diva energy, and I don't like it. I also still get gay vibes. My gaydar goes off with Mido. Nothing's wrong if he is gay, but I just get that energy, and I'm surprised Debbie hasn't picked up on it. She's been around the block, so I would hope that she would pick up on it. But the acting coach makes Mito do the plan, and he did well. He actually did okay. We learned that he went to school, the university in Egypt for acting. But the coach gave Mito good advice. He let him know, he was like, in his career, he's had to work what he called survival jobs, which is basically kind of like how I work a day job doing social work instead of, just doing and relying on YouTube. Like, you have to have your day job, but also do what you love. And Mito seems totally against the idea of getting a job to support his acting, which is crazy, because if you love your dream enough, you should be willing to do whatever to support and fund it, such as getting a damn job. But in Mito's mind, I truly believe he feels like because he is with Debbie, that's his sacrifice to get to acting. Like, I really believe he thinks that way. But the coach said what we were all thinking. Mito's biggest problem will be being coachable, will be to be teachable, will be accountability. He seems like someone who lets his pride just get in the way of everything. He really does. Before we move forward, you guys, I'm going to get into the comments. Every time she reached to touch him, he pulls away. He does. He doesn't want to touch her. He seems disgusted with Debbie. I don't think he likes older women, but I think it was easier for him to snatch an older woman. Yeah, even in pictures together, they never look affectionate. He acted like she's really lucky to be with him. Mito, please. Right. But I think he purposefully got with the older lady so that he could feel like the prize. Like, and I hate that for Debbie. I do. He want to be a movie star over here, but could barely speak the language. Homie, you are not Antonio Banderas. Shetty, please. Not Antonio Banderas. Oh my goodness. Lord help us. Vibe said, Mito had everybody stressed out this episode. Even my snacks was uncomfortable. What were your snacks? Let me know. What you be snacking on, Vibe? I'm a foodie, so I'm always curious what people be snacking on. The first thing he asks the acting coach is, you think it's a good idea for me to leave New Orleans and go to Hollywood? Right. The man is like, no. Go to Hollywood for what? Half of the shit is filmed in Canada or Atlanta now. Shout out Tyler Perry Studios. Like, Hollywood is we're not even getting films out in Hollywood like that. Honestly, we've been getting a lot of stuff filmed around the Bay Area, San Francisco, and all of that lately. Like, people are done with Hollywood, it seems like. It's still there. But after the acting class, y'all, Mito and Debbie, they are going to prepare because it is Halloween. When I say, baby, I'm not even a person into Halloween, but if I ever celebrate Halloween, I want to either go to San Diego for Comic-Con or I want to go to New Orleans. This city is made, especially the history, for Halloween. But the plan is for Debbie and Mito to dress up as pharaohs together, and they're going to go to this haunted house with Debbie's friends. Vibe said, if he quack like a duck, walks like a duck, and acts like a duck, don't spend all day trying to convince me it's a giraffe. Hashtag, I'm just saying, okay? Lord help us. Debbie and Mito do seem to do well, but they don't seem to do well in the car. Now, they get to her friends, but before they get there, she's very nervous about him meeting her friends. And he keeps telling her, he's like, if they don't like me, oh, well, I'll just leave. I said, Debbie, that should have been your red flag, that this evening was not going to go the way that you wanted it to go. Like, you had to understand the evening was not going to go well with him acting like that. And these crazy mood swings with Mito are odd. He's either genuinely miserable or might have a touch of the bipolar, because there'd be such an extreme low to high, and you really don't see Debbie do anything to him for him to kind of act the way he acts with her. So it just always kind of gives me the ick. But they get to the friends, and then he turns back on like a light switch. Had a great time in the haunted house. It was almost like he felt he had to prove that he could get through it. He wanted to be with the actors and talk to them. Everyone was saying he became damn near part of the show. And after the haunted house, pretty much everything goes to hell. Everybody gets in the car and they drive to another bar. Debbie gets out to go and use the restroom before they all go to party in the bar. And Mito says he's going to stay in the car. He's in the car and he's sulking. And Debbie is kind of embarrassed because her friend wrote back with them, and her friends even noticed like Mido is not talking. It's dead silent. He's just ignoring Debbie while he's scrolling on the phone, just ignoring and scrolling. And I kind of did feel for Debbie because that's difficult when you have such a heavy negative attitude around you for sometimes, like, especially when she's done so much to accommodate him and he's mad for what we see no reason and then putting on acts. It's fucking weird. Like, at least try to act like you like this lady. Like, send him back to wherever she got him from. Return to sender, Debbie, please. But she gets in the car and she's crying when she comes back from the bathroom. And Mido's like, why you cry? Like, he acts in a way like he was genuinely annoyed at this lady for crying. And she explains that she just feels like she's done a lot for him and he doesn't seem happy. And he says, well, I came to this country. And I said, oh, no, Debbie, you got to get away from him. Because it seems like every time these two have an argument, I feel like Mido's going to pull the, well, I gave up my whole life to come here, when he knows that the dream he's chasing is here. So you came here because you want to be a star, not just because you wanted Debbie. And it's okay to admit that, but the fact he's trying not to admit it is what makes him even more sleazy. It irks me. But Mido and Debbie get into it really bad. She starts yelling, talk about she's done with him. She said, I don't want you at my house. He can't get in my house without me. She put him out of her car. And he ended up getting in her friend's face as well because he was talking to Debbie crazy. And her friend said, you're not going to talk to American women like that. Her friend said, you're not going to. I said, not you got the white lady in your face. Lord. But everything pretty much went to shit. We leave off with Debbie and Mido, with Debbie leaving and driving off. She left her friends. She left Mido. She left everything. I think she did the right thing. I think she needs to get him a ticket and send him home. Like, I'm that way. Oh, you want to act broke? Here go your ticket. Go away from me with this. Go away from me with this. But Mido seemed like the type that'd probably stay behind illegally and try and become an actor. Yes, I said it. That's what he seems like. But Mido's an asshole. And I just don't think it's right to use people the way that he did. And that's part of what makes 90 Day Fiancé so interesting, because some people find love, some people are being used, and other times people just want to find a ticket into America. It happens. Shani said he had an attitude in that car because he doesn't want to hang out with her old lady friends. He want to be in the club with the young kids and the young chicks. He want to be partying in the club with the celebrities. And he's realizing he can't do that in New Orleans. Oh, you're on the haunted house. Not send his ass back to the pyramids. I cannot. Vibe said Debbie's friends were working harder than security this episode. Right. Get them a check. They clocked it, behaved, supported their friend, and got in his face. Okay, the friends did more than I could have ever wanted. Debbie, me to tell him, just like Chris Brown said, that's right, deuces. Absolutely. Because who the fuck does Mido think he is? Cannot. The way I want to read Mido for Phil. But I'm interested. Let me know, Replay Gang, how y'all think Debbie and Mido will play out. Do we think that this is the end of them and they're going to sneak in another couple? Because if Debbie forgives him after this, I'm going to look at it like it's BS. Vibe says he wants to be an actor. But the only performance I'm seeing is him acting a fool on national television. Somebody yell cut, please. That'll be the only way. Mido's draining. He's kind of like a teenage girl. Speaking of teenage girls, we have to get to another man-child, which is Shay. We're going to discuss Shay and Annabelle next. I feel for Annabelle. Annabelle is mad as hell because she has recently learned that Shay be out there cheating. Nasty yellow teeth Santa Claus cheating left and right. And, she's aggressively making the bed. I mean, the way that Annabelle fluffed that pillow, she was aggressively making the bed. And they finally have a talk. Annabelle asks what it is that happened. Like, she wants to know, did you have sex? Did you kiss? Like, what did we do? What happened? And Shay says he saw some girl with a big rack. They were all partying and drinking. And he ended up asking to see her titties, but didn't have sex or touch them. He made sure to let us know that they were fake titties. I said, girls just showing their chest out to you, Shay? That's how y'all do it in Kentucky? I just don't think anyone is waving their tits out at Shay. But then again, maybe that's part of what they call it, white boy wasted. Maybe that's part of it. My God. Um, but he kept telling Annabelle that she was overreacting. You're overreacting, babe. You're overreacting. Shut the fuck up. She is not overreacting. Don't gaslight. Don't gaslight Annabelle. Leave her alone. I don't understand why Shay went seeking this relationship and having her here if he knows he's been acting a fool. And what is her being here going to change? What happens when you go to the lake without her? Sometimes my husband goes out without me. You gonna kiss somebody? No, you cannot do that. So I don't understand why Shay was trying to tell her how to react to his cheating. That's crazy. But you have to have a lot of audacity to cheat anyway. So I guess the shoe fit. But he ends up taking Annabelle to go get her nails done with his daughter Allison and his friend Angie, who he's been alleged to have cheated with. And Annabelle is there and she's not comfortable. And Shay ends up leaving. And Annabelle said, Angie, are you having an affair, a relationship with my fiance? And Angie was actually respectful and said no. Angie also acted like she had empathy. I still don't know if I could trust Angie because Angie also said she wouldn't mind dating Shay when we first met him. But Angie did say she felt bad for Annabelle and because she can't imagine coming here and leaving her whole life just to be with a man that moves like Shay. And I was concerned about Allison, the daughter, but Allison was also kind of supportive of Annabelle, it seems, and is not a totally bad person. Annabelle looks to the daughter and says, did you know your dad say he's cheated on me? And the daughter was surprised. It feels like her dad actually does care about Annabelle because of the fact that he was willing to tell her the truth. But the daughter also said, Allison was like, Annabelle needs to talk to Nicole some more so she could get the full story. Now, I don't like that his daughter's so dependent, but honestly, I'm a daddy's girl. I am a big daddy's girl. Shout out to my dad. Maybe the daughter is this way, but just don't want to be involved with her dad's dating life. Like, I can't imagine my dad, not so much. My mom dates like a teenager, low key. So, like, my mom's dating life, she's married now, but my mom's dating life stressed me out. I don't want no parts of it. Maybe that's how Allison is. She doesn't want to tell her dad or tell on her dad, but it looks like Nicole is willing to do it and she's okay with that. But she doesn't think that Annabelle knows everything that she needs to know. I hope that Annabelle figures it out, but the fact that Shay has this many women on lock that he can get is baffling for me, if I'm being honest. I don't know what the women see in him, but apparently they want him. He does. She was whipping the shit out of them. She patting the hell out of it. I said, oh, damn. She was just so upset. She was so upset. And she has a right to be. I feel for Annabelle. Justice for Annabelle. Get her away from this raggedy Santa Claus. My God. Lord, we're going to move on to Marissa and Edward. My God, y'all. When I say I like Marissa less and less each week. I'm starting to see that snooty, rich attitude come out of her. I don't like it. I feel like she knew what she was getting with Edward and is now complaining about what she is getting with Edward, which bothers me. Shani says they see the dollar signs that Shay got. Right. I need to know where he got that money from, too. But something about Marissa is just rubbing me wrong. She's having dinner with her kids and Edward. It's their first dinner together. Marissa's super bossy. Super bossy. She nitpicks. She's OCD. She's bossy. These are qualities of a CEO, actually, so I'm not surprised. But again, my only issue with her bossiness is she tends to prepare for the worst in a way that's almost damaging. Now, her sons were kind of nice. Edward's making an effort with them. He tried to give them $50 each. One of her sons did not accept it. He had a sweet response to the confessional. He was like, I don't want to take money from people who have less than us, you know, because what if they're like, oh man, I had to give away $50 or something. He doesn't want him to feel like he has to buy them. So her boys do seem sweet, but I do also feel like Derek may have overheard some things his mom is talking about, maybe with her friends, or maybe something his dad is saying, because the boys kind of have the attitude that Edward is like poverty stricken. And it's like, just because a person is not rich doesn't mean that they have had a miserable life. I feel like, Marissa, teach your kids that. You're doing a great job, but teach them that not all people who don't have access to money are miserable. Some people feel very rich in their life. But the boys and Edward are kind of struggling a little bit, more so Derek, the older son. Edward seems to acknowledge and be okay with meeting the boy where he's at. He seems okay that it's going to take time for him to build with Derek, which I appreciated. I actually have no complaints on Edward this episode. He was understanding and patient with the kids, and he's also being understanding and patient with Marissa. But the next morning, she's taking the kids to school, doing the morning routine that all parents do that gets you busy. And Marissa is annoyed because Edward is scrolling and drinking a coffee. And I'm looking like he doesn't know where to jump in. One, and he just got here too. They get to drop the kids off at school. Her son sits in the front seat, Edward's in the back. And I felt like that was also kind of like, put your son in the back seat. Like, you can't expect an adult to just be sitting in the back seat so a kid could get their way. Like, there's balance. Show the kids that they're going to have to respect Edward, but also help the kids to be comfortable. I'm just saying. But in the car, basically, she's complaining about Edward being on the phone, and she says she wants to see a more productive side of him because she's always been with him on vacations and not seeing him work. Here's my thing. It's unfair to ask that when you make so much more than him. He's also not even able to work in this country on the visa he has until he's been here for longer. He has to, I believe, wait till he's here for 6 months. And at 3 months, they have to get married. So she's asking him to do things that she cannot get from him. And then I just feel like a lot of what she's complaining about, she was aware of. Like, you knew he wouldn't be able to work. You knew he wouldn't be able to do these things. It seems like she spent more time preparing her kids for the fact that she might have to take care of him than the fact of that he can't, do what he wants the way he wants until he's actually a citizen or married to her. But they were kind of a headache. Not much happened with them. Shani said Edward in the closet. Oh, I could kind of see that a little bit. I could kind of see that. Lord, not in the closet, child. Paola and Thomas, y'all. They're the last people we're going to discuss, and I'm glad because there's not much there. They had sex. They had a good night. They're still, going through disagreements. She's vegan. He eats meat. He says he has Crohn's disease, and he's found that like red meat and things help with his stomach. So that's why it's important for him to have meat. Paola is willing to compromise. They're making each other breakfast and things of that nature. But he later throws a tantrum when she's getting married, all because she used a drop of perfume. He says it severely impacts his allergies. I'm sure Paola has smelled like this perfume when you came to visit her, sir. And you probably didn't complain about your allergies. I feel like you just don't want to smell the perfume in your house. But if you're going to live with a woman, you're going to smell fucking perfume. You just are. Don't know what to tell you, Edward. Or not Edward, Thomas, but you just are. I feel like Thomas wants control. He actually really pissed me off putting glue into her perfume. It could have been of sentimental value. The smell could have reminded her of home. And she did explain that it had cultural value to her. But she's now rethinking things and worries that they may be too different to live together. And I agree. Don't vandalize or touch anyone's property. I feel like that's one of the rudest and worst things that you could do. So it really did irritate me. But Thomas kind of is immature. I can see why he's alone. He's immature and difficult. And just like Katie, uses a diagnosis of some sort to get people to feel sorry for him. Because this lady has always worn perfume. Now that she's in your house, the perfume is magically a problem. Absolutely not, Thomas. Absolutely not. But I guess we'll see more of Paolo and Thomas. This is the one couple I really don't care for this season. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Replay gang. But I don't care for these two. They just seem a little boring to me. That's really it. Not y'all telling Edward to come out. Y'all ain't right. Y'all, that is it though for this week's review of 90 Day Fiancé. I am enjoying covering 90 Day Fiancé. However, no shade, I am more intrigued with 90 Day The Last Resort. Tomorrow, I will be going over 90 Day The Last Resort. I will be going live in the afternoon to go over that. Tonight, after this live at 4 o'clock, so in 15 minutes, I will be going live with James from Watch Your Mouth Reviews to go over the season finale of The Housewives of Rhode Island. And after that live, I will be posting my review for season 1, episode 4 of The Shy. And I'll also probably be getting Raising Canaan out. But I appreciate everybody for watching. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. I hope everybody had a good day or a good time watching this. And I will see you beautiful people for the next live. Adios.